Welcome to the next stop on our Florida road trip, Miami. We spent the day eating delicious Cuban food, drinking maybe more than our fair share of cafe con leche, kayaking in the beautiful turquoise waters at sunset, and visiting nearby Biscayne National Park to round out an incredible day in one of the U.S.'s southernmost cities.
Do you ever have one of those times that just like nothing goes according to plan? Because that's kind of what yesterday was for us.
We have just been running into problem after problem. Every single piece of technology that we were using just kept flaring up yesterday. We did end up eating at this restaurant called Coconuts in Fort Lauderdale, which we loved last year. Honestly, we keep saying it has no business being that good. It has this garlic herb ranch.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's definitely one of those like presumably touristy spots, but the food is so good.
Like actually really good. And the other thing is that we didn't think we had a campsite because we booked a campsite a couple of days ago, but then it turns out we needed to have some sort of confirmation check-in thing that didn't end up working. So we were like living on a prayer showing up to the campground late last night, and we did actually get a spot. Everything was fine, and today is a new day.
Yeah, today is redemption.
Speaking of things not going according to plan, Redemption Day! First things first, acai bowls, but there are a whole bunch of people lined up at this Cuban restaurant, so now we're like, maybe we should get that instead.
Sometimes you do something totally different because it smells so good. And everybody was lining up over here at this Cuban place, and so they must have really great coffee. So that's what we're doing.
Caffeination Station.
Even though we were influenced to get the coffee, which is amazing, we also are still getting our acai bowls.
Yeah.
Getting our fruit in too, no, don't you worry.
Yeah, we're definitely eating healthy or healthier. I don't know. An acai bowl is always like a bit of a luxury, so.
But I got the coffee. Phil was actually getting it for me, but it was so good that we're going back and getting another one. So shout out, Casavana. It's the real deal. Zach just pointed out this artwork above us.
This is definitely the breakfast of champions. I plan on turning into a buff beat after this.
Cheers! After we filled up on acai and, of course, caffeine, we headed to Biscayne National Park, which is situated on 20 miles of shoreline on the South Florida coast. We took in the mangrove orchards, got to see lots of fish, and just explore what this park has to offer. It's an iguana! One ran across the road in front of us in Puerto Rico, and it was the coolest thing. Honestly, I think that was the first time I saw one. We also passed one this morning, and Zach and Amy almost ran over it.
I was not driving the car. That was all Zach.
It looked like a leaf.
Phil observing the lizards. This man is literally crouched like a lizard.
Whoa!
Did you get that? Do you want me to flop in there and film it? The water here is honestly so surprisingly clear that every time you lean over the boardwalk, you can see all these little fish. They're so cute.
What look like roots sticking out? Zach, quick, tell us, what are these little roots?
They're root noodles.
And everything green you see is a red mangrove. Red mangroves are the big guys with the long... If you have the opportunity to talk with a national park volunteer or a guide, definitely do it because they have the most information. This guy earlier told us all about all the mangroves and about like some of the issues and things that they face here in the national park that we definitely wouldn't have learned otherwise.
So glad that I said a root noodle in front of a knowledgeable park ranger today.
I didn't realize that the water was only like 3 feet deep, all the way out to the horizon. That's pretty cool. There's a lot more wildlife here than I expected. Like, you can see a ton of fish. I was honestly expecting just, you know, for the main experience to be like out on a kayak or something, but even from land on this little boardwalk, you can see a lot of things. There are so many fish. I'm trying to spot the biggest ones and crabs, but I saw a rock full of clams earlier, which was so cool. Biscayne, yeah, who knew?
I feel like that could be the catchphrase. Biscayne? Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
Either that or Biscayne, full of root noodles. Amy and Zach just went to scope out a paddleboarding place right next to Biscayne National Park. And Zach was like, there is currently a warning that there are crocodiles that have been spotted in the area. So I don't know your comfort level with that. And Phil was like,
0. The comfort level is 0 with crocodiles.
Phil's like, do you want to stand on a flimsy piece of board in the crocodile infested waters?
Yeah, and they're saltwater crocodiles, so like they're not small. No. Since paddleboarding with saltwater crocodiles was definitely a no-go, we headed closer to the city so we could kayak on Biscayne Bay. So, made a quick stop along the way. We're on our way to go kayak, but we stopped at this place called Tinta y Cafe to get a little sandwich and, of course, an afternoon coffee, because when you're this close, you might as well, especially like a perfect kind of Cuban coffee, which is what we had this morning. Yeah, we can't get this back where we're from.
Look how tiny.
I'm a giant. This is a cortadito, and I think it's like a Cubano shot. Oh, it's so good.
I may or may not have accidentally just went into the kitchen. I am now an employee of Tinta y Cafe. We're so excited. It is La Caleña, and I forgot what was on it, but they said it was good. So a lot of places do Cuban style sandwiches, so we're just grabbing like a little snack of one before we attempt to go kayaking. But we asked what was recommended because we love Cubano sandwiches, but there were lots of like kind of similar options. So this is what the guy recommended, and it had like a cilantro aioli on it. It's actually a turkey sandwich, but it's supposed to be one that a lot of people love. So, and we're gonna fight over who gets the bigger half of the sandwich.
It's definitely gonna be me.
It is probably gonna be.
That is crazy good. Tinta y Cafe. Oh yeah, for the win, for sure. That is so good. Hey!
We finally got out here after flooding our kayak, and the guy telling us that that was normal, but it was missing 2 plugs.
Yeah, our kayak was missing 2 plugs, and we just started taking it on water before we even got off the sand, really. So now we should be good to go.
Now we're good.
Kevin's making me paddle all by myself.
Not doing any of the work. I'm just lounging. Just taking in the views. Making me do all the work now.
That's right, finally, about time. There's a company right on the beach and rent like paddle boards and kayaks from. And it's just like $35 an hour for a tandem kayak, and I almost lost my paddle.
You're never gonna believe the name of it. The name of the company is Paddle.
It's called Paddle. Who knew?
Who knew?
I don't know if you can tell, but Amy and Zach took on a little water. So they went back to shore to dump out their kayak, and in the process ended up filling it up more. And now they're doing the portage of shame over there.
Portage of shame.
Terribly unfortunate.
So sad. I feel so bad for them.
I know.
We're gonna take on water.
I know, we're about to take on water, so I'm gonna put this away.
It's actually this.
I know, it's been dumped out already. Safe to say these two took on a little bit of water on their kayaking journey. This is how you improvise when somebody gets soaked. We created a little changing booth right here. Hang on, I'll show it to you this way. Beautiful spot to have an impromptu changing booth.
Honestly, it really doesn't get much better than this. Yeah, it's a great place
Miami
to
sunset and a soaked pair of pants, apparently.
Yeah, that's right.
Zach also said it's a great spot to see a sunset or a full moon.
After everyone changed into dry clothes, we headed to South Beach for dinner and drinks. Or rather, drinks then dinner. We started at Sweet Liberty where, if you've watched our channel, you know what drink Devin had to get.
You know I'm back on that pina colada.
After that, we headed to Puerto Sagua for some more Cuban cuisine, where we ate medianoche sandwiches and delicious plates of ropa vieja. Finally, we rounded out the night with a visit to one of our favorite places, Salt and Straw. This place has the best ice cream, so it is a must visit. We loved our time in Miami, but this squad of RAV4s is heading out to Tampa next. Subscribe and follow along to our journey so you can catch our day filled with over 60 alligators and our visit to Tampa's historic Ybor City. Oh yeah, and give this video a thumbs up to show Zach and Amy some love for surviving their portage of shame. See you next week.
There is a fight about this dog to try to get it out of the store. He's so cute. He's making all the friends and also trying to get in everywhere.
Oh, and he's getting all the food too.
Yeah.
Somehow he's convinced everybody to give him food.
But now there's a car. Bill's checking it out to make sure everything's okay because it's just open. The dog's gonna hop in and drive off into the sunset. Let's go walk down the Jeddah.
Oh gosh, so zoomed in.
It was all Amy's face. It is humid in South Florida. To the break of dawn, I'm going to Miami. Bienvenido a mi